ask anybody, they all say, are you a good person? Are you doing good things? And they'll always say, sure. But what does that really mean? How do you define good? Is it something we have to do together or individually? I don't know, a lot of questions to answer today. Here's the man who keeps asking them all the time. William D. Awesome, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. I can tell, he told me beforehand, this is the least prepared he's been. I said this would be your best interview. And I could tell it because you're fumbling like, hey, how is everybody?
I'm already like, blah, 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 blah.
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Am I making you nervous?
I think you are.
You are.
I think you are.
That's okay. I'm rarely prepared either. I just kind of,
What I love about Tiesha, though, is that she was like making sure that I was on task this whole time. Like, hey, have you done this yet? Have you done that yet? And I'm like, not yet, but I'm going to do it right now.
That's that organizational development background.
Yeah,
right?
I love that. So welcome.
Thank you.
Gosh, thank you so much for helping me to get on track to put this thing together, because I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on the show.
You know what you missed, though?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
You didn't introduce her.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to introduce her.
We don't know
right
who
now.
she is.
So this is Tiesha Hutchins.
Yes.
Right? And she's going to talk about her great organization that she's the executive director of.
Yes.
And just all these other passions she has. There's so many questions I have for her. I've got 4 questions written down, but I think there's like 20 that I want to ask. But I know we'll be here all day, so I won't ask all of them. But, well, first let's start off and have you introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I'm so grateful that you even had the intention to create something like this for us to have this type of dialogue.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really important that we communicate and define these elements of who we are and what we represent as a society. My name is Tiesha Hutchins. I am currently the executive director of We Are the One Sports Academy, located in Huntington Beach. We are a trauma-informed fitness program focusing on what society considers at-risk youth, individuals who have experienced trauma in many different forms.
Yeah.
So we utilize fitness and sports to engage some of the same things that, they're finding out in the world to fill the void for themselves. So we utilize those things. And then also, I am the CEO and founder of FUTURIST Strategies, and it is a nonprofit consulting business that focuses on organizational development so that we can actually define the programs that we have so we can better assist the community and the people that we are helping.
Yeah. Oh, I love all that.
Yeah.
That's so much. I went back to visit her at this organization probably a couple months back.
Yeah.
And I love being there. These young men were so passionate about what they were doing. And they loved you so much. I remember they were like, "Don't steal her! Don't steal her!" It was one kid was telling me that, and I'm standing in the midst of these guys, man, and I'm just like, "This is so beautiful what you guys are doing over there." Yeah. What are some of your greatest needs over there? I mean, what could you guys use to be even greater than you already are?
Yeah, well, let me just kind of give you a little background. So our founder, Lucky Sungyao, who was born and raised in Huntington Beach, California, founded this organization in about 2008. Mm-hmm. And it really was out of the impulse from his own lived experiences, right, with trauma and struggle and poverty and all the things that we see in our communities today. And so he started this organization just out of his heart, right, and his need to sort of help those in his community that were suffering from the same challenges that he faced as a youth. And he just started doing it in his backyard or in the front yard or at the park or, wherever the need was, he was there to meet that need. And so it just sort of like evolved into this space and this environment where, young people can come and they can feel comfortable. They gain confidence, right? They have structure. There's discipline. We're talking to them about their futures, something that a lot of them, had never even really considered before. They're living day to day, just, trying to figure out where they're going to get their next meal or where they're going to sleep tonight. And so it really provided them a space to find that community that was safe, but also an outlet,
Yeah.
right? To release the stress and connect with other people who maybe have the same challenges.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's really been the whole impulse, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
And my own son, he was the one who told me about One Sports.
Wow.
And just give a little background, he had struggles with addiction, and it was really, really challenging for us to kind of go through this. And as a parent, of course you go through like, what did I do wrong? And, all of those sort of things. And he found this place. I'm happy to say that he's been, clean and sober for over a year now. And, and he found One Sports, and he found Lucky and the guys that are there, and they encourage him and uplift him. And, he's found the discipline there through that. Wow.
I love that so much. I always think, if I go back 100 years when I was a kid, and your program, what you're doing, if you could duplicate that program and put it all over, California, those stories would be everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like LA, when I was raised in LA, I would walk down the street and kids would ditch school, and that was a long time ago. It's even worse today, you know. But I just remember how there were so many kids that didn't have an outlet, and we didn't have the technology that we have today. We have these computers in our hands or in our pockets all the time. We can look up anything we want. Mm-hmm. But back then, it was, either you got into fights or you sold drugs or whatever you did. But I see this program that you're doing, and I'm blown away by it, because, I look at the potential. I took this test, I remember, a year ago to define my gifts, and one of them was futurist thinking. Mm-hmm. And when I walked in there, I could automatically see just how great, not that it's not great, it is great, but just so much more that you guys can do in that space, and just all out Orange County and everywhere else. And I'm really praying that God brings those resources so that you guys can do so much more. And I know man, you're on fire.
Somebody told me a while back that no are just the first two letters to not yet. And so I've really lived my life by that perspective, right? And I know the work that's being done there. I've seen it firsthand with my own son. I'm seeing it in the young people that are coming in. And honestly, I saw a statistic recently that, K through 12 in Orange County, there's over 30,000 reported homeless youth throughout Orange County. And that, that's unheard of. That's also trauma. And where are these young people going to find resources? And so we want to really be that space for them. We want to be, and we don't want to turn anybody away, right? We don't want the barrier to entry to be finances, which oftentimes, no matter what the program, there's some type of a financial commitment or burden. And we don't want that to be a reason that someone's potential is lost. Someone's potential could be lost. And then also we have a lot of athletes that are there that, they had a promising athletic career, and then maybe they were too short. To be, to go into the sport of their choice or something kind of like there was a barrier of entry. And what happens to those young people when the door gets closed on them for something they've worked so hard for their entire lives?
Absolutely.
Right? As young people, that is also traumatic. So this provides a space for them to still, recognize that they have this athletic prowess, and they can utilize it in this space, and they can also, impact and touch those in their community. We want to save as many as we can, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I think about the verse in the Bible that says, "Go into the world and make disciples of all nations." There's so many stories that of kids that are trying to figure it out. Even my time at Oak Valley College as a director, I got a chance to meet some amazing kids and just realize that everybody's dealing with something. Everybody is dealing with something. Even though, I had a talk yesterday with one of my mentors, and and he shared some things with me that blew me away that he was going through. And he's got this picture of he's such a charismatic man. He's so respected and loved, and yet, you know, when he talked to me about some things that he was going through, I was blown away by it. And it's not that I didn't know, but just hearing his story gave me hope about things that I'm dealing with in my own head, you know. But man, just to have, we need more of these kind of programs out there. We really do.
Yeah.
You know, man,
Yeah.
it's just a real blessing.
And it's not just young people, right? Like we're all feeling it.
Yeah.
Right? It is in air that is all around us, right? And how are we reclaiming our power?
Yeah.
How are we, showing up for ourselves and for other people? And that's what's really important, is like we have to have a space to like release that, and it's gonna come out.
Absolutely.
Right? It's going to come out one way or another. What we're feeling and, the things that are impacting us are going to come out.
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of, how we're navigating all of these stressors. I mean, you mentioned earlier that, we all have a computer attached to us at all times, right? And we're adults and we feel that. So imagine, being a young person and constantly, you're having all of this information all day and all night, come to you. So, we want to educate young people about that. Like, what is it doing to your brain? What is it doing to, right, like how you feel emotionally, physically? How is it draining you? Like all of those things that, you may not think about, but all of that matters on how you show up. So it becomes more than just, a youth fitness program or a sports program. It really becomes about building a foundation of support for young people with the vehicle being sports and fitness. But it's so much more than that.
Absolutely.
Right? It's giving them skills. It's teaching them empathy. It's showing them that there's more to life, that today is only one day. Yeah. Tomorrow is another opportunity for you to do something different. And we just want to be that support.
I got to ask one question here, because somebody tweeted and wanted to know where you're at. Where is this facility at? And give us some idea of what you do during the day with these kids. Is it just after school? Is it weekends? Or what do you do with them? Just play sports?
Great question. So we're located in Huntington Beach. We are off of McFadden, in between Springdale and Graham. We have a warehouse there. And we do a couple of things there. So we're building out our after-school programs. We do have youth that come over to our facility in the evening, so after-school times, usually around 5 o'clock. And then we have several different groups of young people that we work with. So we do some one-on-one, depending on what the need is. We do an intake for the young people that come in to determine what their goals are, first and foremost, and what their needs are. And then we kind of structure a program around that. So that's one of the things that we do. So we may do one-on-one with some youth for a period of time before integrating them into a larger group. But we do things like Muay Thai, Tai Chi, Qigong, breath work.
You do Qigong?
Yes.
This is like this Chinese sort of like Tai Chi kind of thing here. It has some sort of spiritual element to it.
Yes. So that's the whole thing is, right, we want to equip young people with skills. We want to equip them with skills and tools to navigate life, because challenges are going to happen. They're going to come. None of us are without challenges and burdens and struggles and trauma and fear. We all have those experiences, but we want to equip young people with tools so that, they have something to reach back on. And it's going to take more than one tool, right, to meet each one of the challenges that they face.
Absolutely.
So we have several different programs that we utilize, and then we do Muay Thai and just some wrestling. So
Thai is like what, Thai boxing or something?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we reserve that for our older young people. So so we want them to have some skills and to kind of
William
understand their
wants to
bodies.
get into that. That's what he wants to do.
Funny you say that, because when I was there that night, one of the young people there said, "Hey, you're welcome to stay and work out with us if you want." And I was like, I wanted to so bad, but then I was nervous. Like, man, I don't heal as fast.
Right. Let me tell you, I did a workout with them we did what we called a turkey day workout. And so on Thanksgiving morning, we all met at the gym and we did a workout there, and it took me a couple of weeks to recover. I did it all because I was not going to let them show me out.
Yeah.
You are not going to do more squats than I can do, sir.
I love that.
And then do you have like trainers, or do you have classes?
Yes.
Or do you have tournaments, or what do you do with these skills once they build them here?
We do. So we are actually in March going to be going into our first competition. So we have some young people that we've identified that are really, really into, the sport of Muay Thai. And so we're going to enter them into a competition, a local competition. And then, of course, we have those that are just there for, the activity, the movement, right? Just like that sort of like physical outlet. So usually those young people come in and they are the ones who do like the wrestling. And then we have like a striking class, and where they can learn how to nice. Properly, use their bodies in that way. And then, like I said, we're putting together right now an after-school program where we'll be going into the schools. So we're actually looking at partners right now, right? Yeah. How can we best serve our community and our young people right now in this moment? And so partners,
I guess I got to ask, how is it being funded right now? Is this just being through private donations, or wing and a prayer, or grants, or sponsorships?
Good question.
Yes, and yes.
Okay.
It is all of the above.
No, it's not yet.
It is that you are absolutely correct. So we are actively, looking for sponsors and donors that can kind of help us move the mission forward. Again, we turn nobody away. And then, of course, being in the nonprofit space and understanding that organizational development component, looking at programs that can generate some revenue, right? Yeah, what kind of things can we offer to our greater community that would be really beneficial at a reasonable rate that can help us continue to provide the services to our young people that, can't afford the service. So just really, again, he's been doing it since 2008. Mm-hmm. The nonprofit was just formed in 2024. I just kind of stepped into the picture about 5 months ago. So I'm building a board.
Yeah.
You asked me earlier what we are looking for. We are looking for, donors. We're looking for board members. We're looking for individuals who have a passion for young people and a passion to support at Promise Youth, young people that, they have a future.
Yeah.
And a future that they can thrive.
Love that.
They can thrive in, And then we're fundraising right now. We have a fundraiser coming up on February 14th. It's Heart Health Month. So we're going to have our first 5K fundraiser. So, yeah, I know, right? I actually signed up.
You did?
Yeah.
I love
I'm going to do a light jaunt as opposed to a jog or a run.
There you go.
I'm just going to do a light little jaunt. So it's 3.1 miles. So
I'd be in the background with a cup of coffee, just walking.
Listen.
Very slowly, brother.
Yeah. So, and then I'm sorry, I think I kind of like brushed over the trainers. So yes, we have certified trainers that work with our young people, and we are now looking at that component of the trauma-informed fitness certification, so that all of our trainers also have that as well under their belt, so they really understand. It's intuitive, right? When you start working with young people that have sort of been through all of these challenges, and then having a founder himself who has navigated these challenges and done a beautiful job at showing up in his own life and the lives of other people. Absolutely. That, he just has this innate ability to just really connect. Yeah.
And I'm going to get you to pull your headset up. It looks like it's going to fall right off on you here. There you go.
My head needs to grow.
Everybody will be staring at your thing, waiting for the headset to fall off.
They're like watching me like, oh my gosh, it's going to fall off.
It's going to fall off. They're not listening. They're waiting for the headset to go.
My worst nightmare.
So I when I think about the premise of the show, right, and defining it together, I see, I've really got a chance to witness this lately for a fact. I mean, I'm no longer with Oak Valley College. That's not really a mystery. But I just posted yesterday for my community to kind of see what happened, and it was so beautiful because the community came to my aid in a sense. They start, hey, William, I didn't know that. Hey, look at this, and let's meet for coffee and talk. And I just saw all these great people, and I think I know what your answer is going to be when we talk about defining it together. But I just love how the people in Orange County, man, they just when there's a need, they show up, right? All that to say is that they show up when there's a need. So when I think about defining it together for you, what does that mean for you in terms of your leadership, your service, what you do for these young people in this organization? Yeah,
so defining good for me is first showing up for myself. That's what it means to me. It's about showing up for myself. It's about living authentically. It's about staying in prayer and meditation. It's about staying in community and showing up every day for myself. So first and foremost, defining good is about self, right? Self-worth, self-dignity, self-respect, self-regulation. That's what it's really about for me. And then once I have that, I can begin to build a greater community where I can model what it looks like to, exercise all of this. And look, I am by far not perfect, right? I had a Cinnaholic last night, and then I looked at the calories and I was like,
those are so good.
They're so good. But, I'm constantly having to, reevaluate what that looks like for me in my own life and how that shows up in the lives of other people.
Absolutely.
I mean, it says it in the title, right? Defining good together.
Yeah.
And what is the purpose if you're doing this all alone, right? You have to hook elbows with other people and walk together.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you would have that conversation because I was just at a meeting yesterday where I kind of had that conversation. I said, look, at the end of the day, I know if something happens that my neighbors are going to be there for me, whether we agree on everything or not.
Absolutely.
I have complete faith that my neighbors are going to be there to support me. My community would be there to support me. We've seen it over and over again, right? We've seen it with the fires in Pacific Palisades. We've seen it, right, over and over and over again, that when there is a challenge that impacts our society on such a grand scale and a great level, that we show up for each other.
Absolutely.
We show up for each other, right? And that's what's really important. Is that we're every day we're trying. Every day, we're figuring out. Yesterday maybe it wasn't so good, but today is another opportunity. Every time you wake up, it's another chance. It's another opportunity. Right? So
I love that.
Yeah.
Has there been any defining moments in your life where that has made you kind of reflect and draws you toward the passion that you have? Because I see that everywhere in you. I mean, not just with this organization, but when I was putting together a board at Oak Valley College, I mean, you're the first one to step up and say, "Hey, what do you need? Let's do this." And so where does that come from? Where does that passion come from?
Yeah, there's been a lot of defining moments in my life. I can look over my lifetime from childhood all the way, until now, and see so many moments in my life that were like pivotal, right? That were situations or circumstances where I was like, okay, this is a moment where I need to shift, or I need to evaluate something. But most recently, I would say the defining moment for me would be the loss of my mother. And that was about 7 years ago. She lost her battle to breast cancer, and when she came to me and she communicated that she had breast cancer, it was like, on some level, we knew, right, that this was going to be our time together.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how long we had. And from the time of diagnosis to the time of her passing was 6 weeks exactly.
Wow.
And in that time, I made a decision in my life, and that decision was that I was going to be there for her and hold her hand every step of that journey with her. And that's exactly what I did. And from that moment, I have just lived my life knowing that I need to make decisions that are going to be best for me and build me so that I can help others. And so the passion really comes from a lot of experiences I've had, but that was the most pivotal time in my life up to this point was the loss of my mom.
Wow. That's heavy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy. I'm trying to think of something to say, but I can't even think of anything that but
I want to ask one question.
Go ahead.
I'd love to ask everybody here. We talked about it just sort of offline.
Yeah.
There's two components to the show. One is defining good. You started internally. It's within me. I got to be authentic. I got to be genuine. I got to be true to myself. I got to be. But then it's got to go outward somehow, right?
Yeah.
Is that what makes these kids succeed, where maybe they have been at risk, meaning they have gotten into trouble, and people have set up they're on the wrong path? Is it enough that they just reflect inward, or does it need that togetherness that brings it out?
That is a great question, and that's exactly what it is. If the reflection is only inward and you're not doing something after that, then you've only gone so far, right? There has to be action.
Yeah.
You have to do something else. And the best way to combat depression and stress and trauma is by building community.
Yeah.
Right? That's what leads us to drug addiction. Yeah. It's the loss of community, so you're looking for it somewhere. Yeah. That's what leads to a lot of these things that we see. They're looking for family. They're looking for community.
They certainly say that with gangs and stuff here. They're looking
Absolutely. They're looking for that community. They're looking for that place that feels like home, right? And so it starts inward, but it has to go somewhere, and that somewhere is in service.
Absolutely.
It's in service.
Yeah, and that's why this show is what it is. That's why I'm so passionate about this topic of defining good, because I've worked for some organizations that have been absolutely horrible. The bosses were horrible, and I've had great bosses and I've had horrible ones, but I've learned from all of them, and that's the whole idea. But I think what has made me the kind of leader that I am today is my circumstances and the things that I've been through in my life. And when I'm a manager, I'd like to get things done, but at the same time, it's so important to me how people are treated. I just can't stand it when I see people being abused in an employment setting or whatever it might be. And so God has done a work in my life and in my heart to learn leadership, but at the same time, that it's all about respect. It's all about treat people the way you want to be treated is the golden rule for me. And I think it's helped me throughout my life, because I can look back now. I've got kids when I was teaching high school 15 years ago, and they still reach out to me today. I do their weddings. I'm doing a kid's wedding in a few weeks. He's getting married. He's with a fireman today. He reached out to me, and that's only because from when he was a child in middle school, I respected him. I loved on him, and I wanted him to see that just because there's a certain way you treat people, and it comes back to you. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all in they're watching.
Absolutely.
Right? They're watching, and we are the examples for everyone. And I feel the same way. Like, I treat everyone with dignity and respect and empathy. And even when, there's some type of a conflict or something, like, I don't internalize and personalize things, right? We are all human beings having a human experience, living on this earth with challenges and circumstances and our own traumas. We're all walking around with that. Yeah. And so, I have to remember that, if someone does something to me, I have that moment where I'm like, wow, that they just really did that. And then the second part of that is, wow, I wonder what happened today that made them feel okay, right? To be able to do that, or maybe they're not feeling okay. And then I have a moment of, wow, I really hope their day gets better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah. Are those virtues, though, that we are sort of emphasizing in society today? I think of sports. It's in your face. It's taunting you. It's, I kicked your butt. Ha, ha, ha. I win, you lose. Not much empathy or dignity or respect there. It's all about me crushing you kind of thing.
A lot of those is real growth, too. As you go through your stages in life, as you go through your circumstances and things you deal with in your own life, it helps you to become more empathetic or love people more or those things, and again, I know we're going to cut this short, and I'll let you respond one more time, but I just want to say, for the people that will be listening to this show at some point, this organization that Tiesha's involved in is amazing, and I really want to see people stand up for something great like this, and I want to see them get involved and help financially and just dedicate time and all those things. And that's a call for me too. I've got my issues I'm dealing with in my own life, but I do want to step up and try and help. So Orange County, let's show ourselves strong, man, and let's do something great.
So how do we find you and how do we help?
Yeah, thank you so much. You can find us at onesportsacademy.org.
And is that the number one or spelled out the word one?
It is spelled out the word one, onesportsacademy.org. That's where you can find our website. And then we have a link to our upcoming fundraiser. The 5K is there. And you can get an idea of what we do there at, One Sports Academy at the gym there. And then if you want to reach me by email, it's a long one. Get your pencils out. We are the1sportsacademy@gmail.com.
That is a long one.
It's a long one. I know. We got to work on that.
That's okay.
It's okay. We're getting there, right? We're getting better.
Yeah.
But I do want to circle back really quick because I agree with you that there is that component, right, of sports that is kind of like the winner, the loser type of thing.
Well, it's also about individual performance, too. And it used to be sports was a team sport. Now more and more, even on team sports like football or basketball, it's, I don't care what the team wins, but did I make my points? Did I make myself stand out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you do see that a lot in sports. And that's why programs like this are so important, because you see why it is important to have that sort of individual confidence and that discipline to go after, right? I am improving every day. However, you also have to understand that it's a team, that we succeed together and we fail together, right? That
or a community.
We are a community. So I think that that's why programs like this are important, and also training coaches so that coaches understand that they should be leading this sort of charge that, yes, you want to be the best athlete that you can be personally. However, this is a team sport. We cannot succeed without each other.
Yeah.
And really just honing in on that and pushing that sort of message.
Yeah.
So I think that it's on all of us as the adults. Again, I go back to that, like, we're the examples. They're watching us. They're listening to us.
Boy, that's the truth. Well, thank you so much. Anything else, William? Any way to reach out to you? What's the best way to reach you these days? Still LinkedIn?
Reach me on LinkedIn. I'm there. William L. Deed, M.A. on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And please reach out.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, teacher, for coming on the show.
Thank
This
you
has
for
been great.
having me. Thank you.
And Paul said it was going to turn out all right. Yeah, it
Was it all right?
I think it was better than all right. I think it was real. And that's what we're really looking for here
Absolutely.
today. We don't need a presentation. We need a conversation.
That's right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. It's all about defining good, finding it within yourself, and then you got to do something with it together. Defining good together. It is a team sport, and that's what we're here, unpacking leadership, loyalty, and doing the right thing. All of those and more we talk about each and every time on this show, right here on Orange County's only community conversation, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.